Hi, my name is Brooke Ladnier. Our group members are Corey Waldon, Travis Snyder, and Justin Parmer. Our book we read is called The Freedom Writer's Diary. This is about a teacher who took a group of delinquent students and taught them to enjoy learning. She was looked down upon by many teachers and had a hard time getting to know other teachers because she was so good at what she did. This group of students are from Long Beach, California. They actually read the book The Diary of Anne Frank, and they also read a book about a Bosnian refugee named Zlata. They wrote letters to Zlata because they found it easy to compare their day-to-day lives with what was going on in Bosnia. These students faced many hardships and were faced with seeing gang fights, as well as seeing their family members and friends die because of what many called the war in America. We will take you through some of their journey and show you how much they learned, all because one teacher took the time to show them that learning can be fun. She allowed them to be able to meet new people, communicate with people across the world, meet Zlata, meet Geese, the woman who helped hide Anne Frank and her family, and taught them that nothing was impossible if they just tried. Many of these students were dealing with drug and alcohol problems, as well as being faced with the option of joining a gang or not. This classroom taught them that there was a way out, and that way out could be achieved. Over the next few minutes, we will take you through part of their journey.
My name is Justin Parmer, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about Meet Geese. She came and talked to the students. She was actually the person that was responsible for hiding Anne Frank and her family. That was one of the books that they read in the class, and the students actually, you could kind of tell from the diary entries that they were kind of interested in reading the book. And then, once Miss Gruel was actually able to arrange a visit from her, you could kind of tell that a lot of them got really excited because they were actually bringing in someone that was actually from the story. And I think that was kind of a good idea because it actually gets the students more interested in it. And the next thing they did was they actually met at the teen center with Meet, and they had some activities. And one of the students in their diary entry went through walking through the teen center the day before she was supposed to arrive, and just talked about how much excitement was around, that there was decorations all over the walls, and that everything was just perfect, laid out for the arrival of Meet. And students actually were cheering for her whenever she arrived, and she actually went through and shared the story with her, and she signed some of their books. And her impact on the students, I think there was like 2 diary entries that actually went through about the impact she had on them. Like the next day after she left, the class talked about her, and one of the students even went as far as calling Meet a true hero, not just like some hero that's made up that wears tights or some kind of colorful costume, because she is actually a real person.
As a classroom assignment, Ms. Gerwell asked her students to read Zlata's diary. Zlata is a young teen whose diary was published after the war in Bosnia. Her diary basically describes her day-to-day living and how the war affected her life. After reading the diary, Ms. G asked students to write letters to Zlata, talking about how their lives were similar. In the letters, the students made parallels with the war in Bosnia and the war they were going through in America. And Miss G's plan was to find Zlata and try to send her the letters, in which students invited her to visit their school. Many of the students didn't believe Zlata would even write back, but she did better. She accepted their invitation and decided she wanted to meet the students herself. Before the day Zlata arrived, many of the students were excited. When she arrived at the airport with her friend, all the students ran up to her to take pictures. While Zlata was in California, she went out to eat with the kids, went shopping, and on one night she gave a speech. And in that speech, she discussed the issues of labeling. From her speech, the students learned that it doesn't matter what race or religion you were, we were all human. While Zlata was there, the students realized she was just a regular 15-year-old girl who liked to listen to music and hang out with friends. Zlata returned to Bosnia, but she left a big impression on the kids in Miss G's class. Zlata and the students remained in contact by sending letters back and forth. For a fundraiser, Miss G had a basketball game in which things like food, medical supplies, and clothes were donated for kids in Bosnia. In one of Slater's letters, she thanked the kids for everything they were doing for her country and reminisced on all the fun she had while visiting their school.
This is Travis Snyder speaking on the afterword portion of the Freedom Writer's Diary. This part of the diary is strictly about what the Freedom Writers have been doing since they left high school. You see, the journey they were on during high school didn't end. It was just the beginning of the rest of their lives. After they left their home in room 203, these kids became adults. They have continued to share their story everywhere they go. Since graduation, they have founded the Freedom Writers Foundation, which is located in Long Beach, California. It allows them to continue their mission in helping students and teachers while remaining a family. They have testified before members of Congress. They have traveled the country to share their unique and inspiring story. They have attended colleges, and many were the first in their families to do so. They have earned degrees. They came back together and created a teacher's institution that would be a teacher's guide for the future. In the end result, the Freedom Writers Teachers Program. They transformed their diary into a major motion picture. They are trying to turn their diary into a documentary, and now they continue to share their story in hopes of changing the world.